Imagine this. You're visiting your house in RuneScape, and instead of a little shack in a black box with a green floor, you step into a beautiful forest with tranquil ponds, singing birds, and you're welcomed by a group of neighbors. Good day everyone, my name is Veneca and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to talk about a skill that has been in Old School RuneScape for many years, but actually has a lot more potential than we think: construction. Now last week there just happened to be an update regarding construction with some quality of life changes, new house styles and typo fixes, but this is not really what I'm talking about. I have something much bigger in mind, so for this video I will call it Construction 2.0, a revamped, expanded and more creative way to build your house in RuneScape. In this video I will discuss what I think is missing from the current version of the skill and how we can improve it with new features, more customization and interaction. So let's dive in. I think we can't deny that construction is a very important skill in Old School RuneScape. This is because the benefits you get from it are simply too good to ignore. You can build portals that teleport you to many places around Gielinor, you can restore your stats with rejuvenation pools, store various items in the costume room and train your prayer on a gilded altar. But as amazing as all of this sounds, outside of these functions and maybe a few other less important things, the skill is actually pretty limited. In my opinion, it feels like an unpolished skill where 95% of all the features are ignored. Even at level 99 construction, most players' house look the exact same. A lifeless space with a shack in the middle, only to be used for 5 seconds so you can use your pools and leave through a teleport portal. This is because the customization options are very lackluster and there's not really another reason to stay at home. All you can do is build square, pre-made rooms to place furniture in. And there are only a few types of wood, like oak, teak and mahogany planks that you can use to make furniture, but you can hardly customize anything. Now of course there are some options to decorate, like hanging a painting on the wall here and there, but there's nothing too special there. Another thing is that the level system is geared towards unlocking specific rooms. For example, when you unlock a kitchen, you can build all kinds of stuff in there, and the same goes for a workshop, portal chamber, dining room, etc. But this is actually quite boring, because this way your house's final look is entirely determined for you. Sure, you can choose where to place rooms and whether they face north, east, south or west, but that is not enough for me. Inside the rooms, it is always exactly the same for every player. Now, outside your house, there's little freedom either. Your house stands in a sort of black void with no surrounding environment. That doesn't feel very lively, and you can't really do anything with it until you've built a room on a specific spot. So I think it would be great if we have more control over how our houses and their surroundings look. My idea for Construction 2.0 revolves around more freedom. Instead of only being able to build predefined rooms, you should have more flexibility in the shapes and designs of your house. For example, instead of unlocking standard rooms, like a kitchen or a dining room, you unlock different room sizes and building structures, like small rooms, large rooms, or even towers maybe. But what I really mean to say here is that as you level up, you should unlock pieces of furniture and be able to place them wherever you want. Do you want a teleport portal in your kitchen? Why not? Have 10 cape racks next to each other to show off all your skill capes? That would be awesome. Or do you want it to be as efficient as possible and place all the most important furniture right by the door when you enter your house? I'm sure many players would love that too. Now, if we think a little outside the box, these things should not be too hard to implement. But there's also a lot of potential outside your house for construction. Think about laying down garden paths, ponds, or even bridges over water. This system would make building much more creative and give players the opportunity to design their own unique home, because right now the environment around your house feels lifeless. And now that I think about it, construction could honestly take some inspiration from the game Animal Crossing. For those of you who don't know this game, it is a game where you maintain an island, making it livable for yourself and other residents. In this game you have your own house, but around it there's a nice natural area to decorate however you want it to be. And although the graphics are very different, the game does feel similar to Old School RuneScape, because Animal Crossing works with a tile-based system just like RuneScape, where you can make changes to each tile specifically. And you can also fish, mine, water crops, and plant trees. And I think this could actually be translated into the RuneScape player-owned portal space. If you could brighten up the environment around your house, you could maybe also do things like place tree patches, set up fishing spots, or mine ores at certain locations. And if you make it eco-friendly, maybe creatures like chinchompas or implings would come to visit, so you can train some hunter. Now, I guess another issue with construction is the limited options for decoration and customization. Right now, you can only choose from a few standard styles through the estate agent, but why not more options? And this doesn't only apply to the general style, but also furniture or objects. If you look at Animal Crossing again, you'll see that there's a huge list of furniture there. In Old School RuneScape, this could easily work too. The objects have already been designed by Jagex and are scattered all around Gielinor, so it's just a matter of creating a list of materials for each item so you can build it yourself in your house. For example, walls and fences you can place wherever you want, various types of new flowers and plants, and also decorations like crates, barrels, rugs, chests, and more like that. And there's plenty more inspiration to draw from Gielinor to really give your house its own look and feel. Maybe unique furniture based on existing in-game buildings like Varrock style or Arty style, for example. This would make each house feel truly unique and not just a copy of every other high-level house in the game. But what is the point of having a beautiful house with no guests? To make this environment feel even more alive, I think it would be awesome if you could invite certain NPCs to live in your player-owned house space. So maybe you could get certain NPCs in the game to rent a room in your house, and these residents would then bring their expertise with them, unlocking new perks in your home environment. For example, maybe you could invite a shopkeeper who sells items, or a banker so you can have a bank in your house, or workers who maintain your grounds, similar to Miscellanea. And in addition, it would be awesome if you could, for example, build a pond and add fishing spots, and by inviting a certain NPC, like Gerand, the fishing shopkeeper, you could unlock better fishing options. Or maybe the ability to add a new herb patch with a tulip in your garden. But of course, this would obviously need to be limited to a maximum of 1, or it would be too game breaking. But to stay realistic, I do want to stop for a moment and think about the chances of these things actually happening individually. We've discussed several things, and let me quickly summarize them. The first thing is building rooms of different sizes, choosing where to place your furniture, customizing your furniture in various styles, customizing the environments outside your house, skilling in your player-owned house environment, like a herb patch or fishing spot, and inviting NPCs to your house with a benefit, like banks or opening a shop. Now the first one, building rooms of different sizes, sounds realistic to me. This is a basic change that could do a lot for the look and feel of your house. Choosing where to place your furniture sounds good to me as well. I mean, RuneScape is a tile-based game, which means all the furniture you place will simply take up a certain number of tiles. But it may take some development time to implement this, since it does make things much more customizable than it currently is. Customizing your furniture in various styles sounds realistic too. This is just a matter of adding variants. The assets already exist in the game and can be found all around Gielinor. Customizing the environment outside your house is, I would say, realistic too. As mentioned before, RuneScape works with a tile system, so if you're not bound to building in a fixed spot, this should also work outside. Plus, Jagex could create a few layouts where a house is set. Think about desert areas, or near a volcano, in the woods, or on flat land. And then we got skilling in your player-owned house, like a herb patch, fishing spot, maybe woodcutting trees, stuff like that. I think this may be a bit controversial. Adding skilling opportunities in your house could be seen as both positive and negative. I mean, if you look at it, it's already possible with prayer, and cooking is also possible if you want, but if more skills are added, it could turn the player-owned house into a skilling hub. Would we ever want to leave our houses then? Maybe something could be worked out, but I can imagine this wouldn't be loved by everyone. And then last but not least, being able to invite NPCs to your house with a benefit, like banks or opening a shop. This also may be a bit controversial. Having a servant has always been possible, but if this is expanded with new NPCs and new features, it might become a bit overpowered. But anyway, I think construction has incredible potential and could become even more popular in the future if some of these ideas are implemented. But I guess that was all I wanted to talk about regarding Construction 2.0. So what do you think of these ideas? Should Jagex give construction a major rework? Let me know in the comments, and also don't forget to subscribe for more RuneScape content. Oh, and if you're interested in more concepts like these, I made a video last week about a special key in RuneScape that can open all doors, or all locks for that matter. If you want to see that, make sure to check out the playlist. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.